Good evening. Welcome, viewers. This is Jim Moreno, longtime contributor to armchairgeneral.com, and today I am bringing you the first of one of my live recorded interviews. And today's interview, or correction, this evening's interview, we have Steve Shanghai 6 Machuga.
There we go. How y'all doing? What's going on, Jim? How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I am doing good. Ready to do this. It's been a hell of a day, so.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get right into the meat of things here so that you can get back to the more important things. For those of viewers here who don't know who Steve Shanghai 6 Machuga is, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, it's once upon a time it was Captain Machuga, and I got out about 2006. But I run Operation Supply Drop. We're a military gaming charity. And we build video game care packages for soldiers deployed to combat zones and recovering in military hospitals. And we've been doing this for 3.5 years now, and this is our breakout year. Like, no joke, this is it. So things have been ramping up since the first of the year, and it's insane. So it's definitely a new level of insanity right now. So.
All right. When you say care packages, you put together care packages. These aren't your normal care packages with some foot powder.
Oh, I think not. No, that's the nice thing about what we do is, having been on the business end of a bad care package, and I think we all. Have you deployed downrange at all?
Yes, sir. I have been done many times.
Okay, Roger that. Well, at least all right. So you've been on. You've gotten good care packages, and you've probably gotten some, like, why did they bother to pack all this up and send it my way?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my revelatory care package, which I'll never forget, was over in Iraq, and we got a crate, more or less a crate of third-hand Harlequin romance novels from a library, which were then we took those, and of course you crack something like that open, you get this big crate of stuff, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good, and you crack into it, and it's like, okay, well, yes. we're an infantry unit, so first off, no women, so that's okay, that's a problem, and these are all women's Harlequin romance novels, so
I can imagine how that conversation went.
That was a very much like preceded by about 10 minutes of straight laughter. So if that was the objective, they completed that. And then those books found themselves their way over to the confiscated arms range to be used as target practice for, all the different crazy enemy weapon systems we'd confiscate. So yeah, we got to, RPKs and all kinds of good stuff.
I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, always fun. Good stuff, boy.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the first, like, and that is always the touchstone, quote unquote, care package that I always go back to is okay, civilians in their heart, God bless them, but they just don't know. No. They just don't know.
Me neither do not know.
So, and I equate it to the 5th grade canned food drive, where you at the last minute you go to your parents' pantry and you pull out a dented can of yams. And you get 28 kids that do that, and next thing you know, you're like, why? What? This is all right. Thanks, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, using that mentality, like, okay, let's do something a little special. So, and I'm sorry. I guess I'm probably just gonna run right over you here with the talking here. But I guess that's why I'm here. So
I'll break in there when I need to, sir.
Okay. And please don't call me sir. That's you don't. As I was saying before, as we were talking about before we started recording, I was definitely the enlisted man's officer because I just didn't care about which generals were getting promoted and who was, hey, who's up for who? Are you under? I can't even remember what it's called. What was it? Below zone? Are you below zone? And all that shit. Like, I just did not. And it didn't help that I showed up at Bragg. I was one of 21 infantry lieutenants at the 05, and I was one of 2 that did not have their Ranger tab when they first got there. Oh, so my first year at Bragg might as well have been out of a movie. It was just like nobody wanted to it was hazing to shit and back.
Right.
Like, so then, but let me tell you, that second time I went to Ranger School, I was like, you're gonna have to put me in a pine box before I leave this mountain this time, because I'm not going back to that. And so, and totally lost the thread. Oh, bad care packages. So,
and what you're putting together, yes.
Yes. So, but fast forward way into the future. I'm working in the games industry somewhat. Like I'm in the fake games journalist space at a website. Much like, not to insult Armchair General, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like, hey, it's an enthusiast website. It's a guy who went to GoDaddy and said, hey, here's $10. I'd like to start a blog, kind of thing. So I was working on one of those called Sarcastic Gamer at the time, and they were the guys who created Extra Life, which is now the monster video game charity that does charity work for sick kids in hospitals.
Yes, Children's Miracle Network. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah, they do wonderful work. Doc's an amazing guy.
I've done 3 of their game-a-thons myself.
Absolutely, so have I. That's why I was like, I love all their work. But when I left Sarcastic Gamer, there was like this hole in my life where I was just like, well, I don't have the same compulsion to do the sick kid thing. Like, I just didn't have that. I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have a lot of nieces and nephews or anything like that, so I just don't have this attachment to the children's angle. But I was like, well, maybe we could do something with military. I've got an attachment there, obviously. I've got my time in. I can speak the lingo. I can talk the talk. You know, I've done some time down roll. I've done some done some time down range. You know, maybe we could turn that into something. So I was looking to do something there, and I found a charity at the time that is defunct now, but they were doing something similar to what I'm doing now, and I was like, oh, this is great. How I want to help out. I want to start a DC chapter of what you guys are doing, and they were like, well, we're looking to keep it local in Chicago, and we're not really interested in expanding. We're going a different direction, but you know, thanks. If you want to help out, that's great, but you know, whatever. It's kind of like, well, all right, well, I guess I'll just do my own thing.
Yes.
And so I, at the same time that was all happening, one of my guys from Iraq got out and then re-enlisted. This is like years and years later, but he got out and heard that siren call of like, civilian life sucks. I'm going back in.
Roger that.
So he re-enlisted and like was immediately deployed to Afghanistan. Of course, surprise. You know, father of 5. Yeah, of course, deployed to Afghanistan.
Exactly.
So he knew my contacts in the games space, and so he reached out to me and he said, hey, could you we'd love to get some video games up in here. So I reached out to my contacts that I had made at my time at Sarcastic Gamer and said, hey, can we do anything? And I reached out to a whole bunch, but the guy who really tipped, you know, got things started was Dan Amrick over at Activision with one of Swords he goes by, but he was the I can't say community manager for Activision. He was more like the senior blogger, or how, I don't know if they ever gave him an official title, but he was the guy who he sent us like a full crate of Guitar Hero kits and DJ Hero bundles, and I mean, he went for it. Like, it was full on like, oh, this is a great thing. Let's go ahead and help you out.
Nice.
And I mean, there was no like, let me see your 501c3 papers. Let me do this. I mean, it was just like, here you go. I was like, wow, great. That worked tremendously well. So I took a portion of that and cut it up into a large container, and I sent it over there. And of course, Joe, when he gets a hold of something like, you know, several $1,000s worth of video games,
yes,
you suddenly, where the hell, what is this? Where'd you get this from? Hey, how'd you get? Well, I want one of those. So how can I get in touch with this guy? So that snowballed. Yeah, that snowballed real quick. And then we had leftovers from the original package from Activision, and more and more, and we started getting more and more donations from game developers, because they love an opportunity to, 1, do charity work, 2, help the troops, and 3, get rid of that palette of games that scored 55 on Metacritic that aren't selling.
I was just about to say that.
So Joe, so it's a win-win for everybody. It's a tax write-off for them. They got a palette of games they can't get rid of, and Joe will be more than happy to play anything you put in front of him, because he's got absolutely nothing better to do.
That's right.
Downrange. So it is. So as this has picked up momentum, and as more and more organizations have been like, hey, you might have something here. And it's so nice. Like, we're the only ones in the game space doing this right now. And it is literally like, okay, and people are recognizing this. Like, it's like, hey, this is a thing. Like, all the other charities are doing, like, there are a bunch of other charities out there that are doing children's, or, you know, Get Well Gamers, or obviously Extra Life, but there's like a half dozen children's hospital charities, and there's nothing supporting the military.
Yes.
So, surprise, guess who guess who steps in? And so 3 years of this, and we have been slowly building up our cred across different organizations and people. The game space is games industry is very fluctuating. Like, we'll have relationships, and then so and so will I've been laid off, or I'm moving to a new company, or I thought I'd start my own company, and it's like, oh, damn, all right, we got to start over fresh with a new guy. But it's getting easier and easier as we're snowballing, so it's pretty nice.
Excellent. Well, I hope we can help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to have you all on board. Again, it's gamers are easy to get a hold. Like, we need more military folks to get on board. Like, and I'm not saying military asking for shit, because they're good at that. That's the simple part. I'm saying military supporting other military, because I know as a military guy how I dealt with my guys. Yes. There was very much like, well, hey, I didn't have that during my deployment, so he sure is. I'm not helping him get it. Like, I didn't have this. What the hell? So having military folks step up and go, I know that sucks, and I'm here to help. It's a boon. Like, I'm very happy to have military folks helping other military folks, because generally it's like, I'm not giving him an advantage if I didn't get an advantage, or at least that's where I'm accustomed to coming from, where it's very much like sorry, hey, I gotta watch out for my own kind of mentality. So
I know one of the things that they imbued us in the 82nd was taking care of soldiers.
Oh, do not get me wrong. I understand what the party line is. I'm just saying, when Joe comes down to it,
right?
If he's got some of that MRE peanut butter, and that's all he's got left, and his buddies look at him like, I haven't eaten in 2 days. We're like, sorry, man, I gotta, I'll let you have a little bit, but come on, man.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying, but and that just goes between individuals. Like, there are good people out there regardless of military affiliation. So there are going to be people that help out. But generally speaking, if one unit has an advantage or it has a disadvantage, and then another unit comes in with something, it's like, I'm not helping them out. They got more stuff than we did.
Right.
So, especially in some of those built-up areas, like, they're doing this weird thing now. Like, we've had guys, Afghanistan, 12 years, you would think they'd have, like, full-on, they'd get rid of the Haji internet, and they'd have full-on internet services over there, and MWR facilities. And these units are coming in, and when they leave, they're, like, stripping everything out. They're, like, taking everything, and it's like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? Like, I was under the impression that this was, like, a fixed facility, and I've got guys who are like, yeah, we're not even allotted Connex space. Like, we have, everything we have is anything we can put in a duffel and a rucksack, and that's it. And it's like, for a year? Are you fucking high? Like, what is this? Like, this is insane. Like, that's unacceptable.
Yes.
So
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, that was a shocker. Like, I was like, again, I was thinking, like, oh, it's Kabul. I'm sure they've got full-on PXs and,
absolutely, yes.
Burger Kings and, Starbucks and things like that. No, that's...
So it hasn't changed since I was over there?
No, because they're doing this, scorched earth shit where they're just like, oh, just rip everything out, and, oh, that's ours. We're taking it with us when we go. It's like, well, what the shit? Really? Do you need... Okay, that's like...
All right, well, you touched on it there for a second, sir, but go ahead and hit that morale issue. Hit that morale issue really hard there for me for a couple minutes.
Oh, that's easy. I mean, again, I imagine most of your listeners are military related, or military fans, or just gamers who are fans of military games.
Absolutely. So, we crisscross on all those areas.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, folks who are not in the military, going downrange, first off, for about 6 minutes is exciting and fun, and you're like, oh, this is great. I'm in the war. Woohoo! Right. And then once you get over there, it's kind of like doing a jail term where where you're kind of like, it is even if you're going outside the wire all the time, it still feels like it's just so much time, like a year of your life. And the jail analogy really works, because it's literally like, well, life is going on the outside. I can't affect anything except for the random phone call or an email every now and again, and depending on where you're at. If you're closer to the flagpole, you've got more, you've obviously got more services available. But some of these outposts, they're just, it's like these fucking Vietnam fire base mentality where it's like, oh, we're filling sandbags and. Like,
yeah, people don't have the right concept.
You gotta be kidding me! Like, so
you've never been to a fob, you don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's very much like morale can get really, and guys get bored to death. Like if you have 310 days in a wake up and you're just staring, because everybody does it in some way or another. They mark their time, like they have a calendar or something where you're crossing out the days or just mentally keeping track of something, or oh, that was 51 weeks left or whatever they're doing. But staring at that calendar or making a phone call back home or something like that, and just realizing that this is all passing me by while I'm over here with a bunch of people who are trying to murder me regularly, who are mortaring the shit out of us on a regular basis, or we're getting. It's just like, and they'll smile at you, and God bless the ANA folks, the folks who are dealing with the national security services like the ANA and the Afghan Security for ASF.
Right. Yes.
But fuck, having to deal, and the idea of, all right, we're going to give these Afghans AK-47s and live rounds, and just going to let them, and we're going to live with them.
Right.
So you've got a battalion of ANA and four I can't think of what the word is, what they call advisors. It's like, you know what? Of a battalion of ANA folks, let's say about a full platoon is actively working on the other side. It's like all they need to do is blow the whistle and be like, yeah, we're overrunning this right now. We're taking these 4 Americans hostage. Like, God bless those. Anytime we get like any kind of advisory team, like we've got one. After I get off the phone with you, I'm building out one to an advisory team in, can't remember one, but it's M&E South somewhere. But man, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh no, it's no thank you. Like, you know what? There are plenty. I spent some time with the Russian, as the Russian liaison in Kosovo, where I lived with the Russians, but that was a whole different ballgame. That was just like vodka drinking 101. I mean, that was just like, woohoo, we're having fun, and that is. I know you're just waiting on somebody to like, I'm just having a bad day, or I got the call from from the Haqqani family. They want me to go ahead and execute these Americans in their sleep. It's like, so
24-hour pucker factor.
Absolutely, I cannot fucking imagine. And and everybody treats you nicely, like all the Afghans you talk to, or just like the Iraqis I dealt with. Everybody loves you until you are out of their field or you're out of their field of vision, and then they, all right, go back to planning. And of course, when you'd pick up one of these guys and you sit them down, and they'd be across from you at an interrogation table, and they'd be saying things like, well, what would you do if we invaded your country? And it's like, all right, he's got a point. I would be that guy. I get it. I'm sorry. This is just, I'm not doing this on purpose, but hey, this is kind of how this is. So.
But that's what our troops have to deal with.
That
not
is
only
absolutely,
in Afghanistan, and all the other hotspots that are around the world that people know about and that people don't know about.
Right, absolutely. And so, yeah, if it's a team house somewhere or whatever, this shit is going on all the time.
Yes.
Always, and not everybody's on a short, 4-month cycle. Like, those things can drag out. And when you're on a base, there is very little to do. Like, you of course get really good at PT.
Yes.
And so, well, I got the gym. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be the biggest motherfucker on this planet. I'm getting protein powder sent to me from Amazon, and you always get those guys, and then you got the gym rats who are just like, all right, I'm gonna do two a days, and then all right, I'm gonna go to the chow hall and eat 3 times a day, and this, that, and the other thing. And then it's like, all right, then you got another 20 hours of the day. Like, all right, you're gonna go do your quote unquote job, whatever that is. But
we're out decks of cards, playing spades.
Right, and exactly. The fact that you're saying that, like, yeah, we're going to pull out a deck of cards, like, really, you got nothing better to do?
Right.
That's what I'm saying, is there is, even when you get done with your 12, 13, 14, 15-hour shift, you go back and it's like, all right, well, let's do something to think, hey, you know what would be fun? Let's go ahead and take K-bars and see if we can stab them through ballistic vests.
Right.
Oh, we'll go ahead and wear the ballistic vest. Let's see if this can work. Just stupid shit. I had an EOD team first sergeant who's writing me, like, he's telling me, he's like, hey, we got some of the smartest guys in the Army, hands down, because they play with bombs all the time. But the problem with that is they're bored. They're playing with bombs all the time. Like, it is hard to keep them on track and on mission when they're just like, they're bored out of their minds. Like,
let's see what temperature we can get these BA-80s to explode at.
Right, exactly. Like, they're sitting there like, hey, you know what would be fun? Like, they were apparently one of this guy's kids were putting together a car bomb, like a mock-up of a car bomb, and it's like, What? No, you can't. What? No, that's this is so board Joe is that's where and of course that doesn't even factor into you know things are going bad back home and there's nothing you can do about it from where you're from 12,000 miles away. So you get that depression, you get that I'm going to go back to my bunk, I'm not going to talk to anybody. And that's what video gaming helps do. I mean, you got video gaming and setting up marathons, sessions of gaming. I mean, I know that's how I got through my time down there. I was constantly when I was not at the gym or chow hall or working, it was gaming because it was one of those things that it's what I did when I was back home. It's what got me and anybody who's played a video game knows that if you get into a good video game, those hours will melt away like nothing. And books are great, but if you're not into it, like your brain, you have to really be dedicated to sit there and read. Whereas in video gaming, there's a part of your brain that you need to kind of turn off to get into the gaming in order to proceed.
Correct.
So you just kind of melt those hours away, and man, that stuff is critical. So if you're in a squad platoon environment, if they're setting up, we got guys with playing Magic tournaments, showing us pictures of the Magic cards we sent them, and them setting up Magic tournaments. And
nice.
we had a SEAL support team that was setting up Call of Duty Black Ops tournaments with the SEALs versus support team. I mean, it's like
I'd love to get in on that.
It's just like, oh man, this is what I'm talking about. You get those pictures back, and it's just like this is all worthwhile. Like these guys. This is what it's about. And there's nothing funnier than watching a bearded SEAL sitting there playing Black Ops. It's just like this is so meta. So
all right, well we're under 3 weeks here until the next 8-bit salute.
Oh God, yep.
Give us a sit rep on what it's looking like this year so far.
It's absolutely terrible. It is so big right now. It is terrifying. Like we've done it before in the past where it's been like, oh, we get 100 or so folks come out and we get some social media push, but the level of we've really gotten some big names behind us. Like to be able to come out on PAX East main stage with the Rooster Teeth guys to to be able to announce, hey, not only is Rooster Teeth involved, but they're going to be working with us in the future, and we're announcing Rooster Teeth as our headquarters for the event. I'm flying down to their new offices down there to kind of live stream out of their office, out of their brand new offices in Austin. I mean, when you got things like that, you got Naughty Dog and Astro and Gunnars and Respawn with Titanfall. I mean, you name it. Like the teams are coming out of the woodwork, and it's starting to really pick up speed. And we're still 3 weeks out, and I know we've already raised more cash than we've ever raised in one of these things. 3 weeks away from the event, okay. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing where this is going to go to. Some of the like we still have teams that are being put together right now. Like CBS Interactive is getting a team together, and
nice.
I did not. Yeah, and for those of you who are not familiar, and I was not personally, but CBS Interactive that's Giant Bomb, that's GameSpot,
correct,
GameSpot. And Metacritic. So those three, they're going to be doing a limited amount of support. But I mean, even getting a limited amount from a juggernaut like that that's going to be pretty big. So we're interested to see where that goes. My guy in Austin just got done roping in the Nerdist.
Yes.
They're going to be putting together a team supposedly. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're having like phone conferences and things like that on a daily basis. Just more and more teams just like, hey, we wanted to talk to you about. Or we reach out to them and they're just like, oh, this sounds good. Like, we're the ones doing the poking right now. Like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And then when we pitch it to them, they're just like, oh, that's great. Nobody's doing that's awesome. That makes a lot of sense.
That is fantastic.
Like Wargaming is another big supporter. We're a part of their May military. They're getting ready to announce it supposedly. I mean, I guess what is it? May 1st is the date. So May 1st is Thursday. You listen to this? So hopefully you'll start seeing news about from the big guys saying, hey, Wargaming is one of the military charities that Wargaming is providing a profit-sharing deal with this year. So I mean, these are the kinds of munitions we're bringing to the fight this year. And it's it's going to be big. Like, this is going to be nuts. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know we kind of set the bar very high on the 8-Bit Salute page. We set it at $1 million, which is like, we're not going to hit that. And I'm pretty confident, but we're going to put a pretty big dent in it. And that's the exciting part, because we may have raised $700,000 worth of games and gear at this point, but that's 7% cash, like cash donations. Everything else has been physical donations or codes or something like that. This is going to be the first year where I think our cash donations are going to kind of rival how much we bring in on a physical basis. So it's really exciting. This is going to be a hell of a year for us.
That's some excellent stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. All right, so let's see. One final thing on the OSD here in the 8-bit. What tips do you have? Can you pass along to the participants for this year's 8-bit Salute?
Well, there's
fundraising, getting teams together, actually doing the event.
Right. Well, it doesn't have to be video game related. That's a big point, because everybody's like, "Well, I don't have a Twitch stream," and I'm like, "You don't need to have a Twitch stream." One of our biggest teams from last year, and this is when we were only raising a couple $1,000s, but this team of 6 people that just got together in Ohio, and they're back again this year, Team Bohica, and they're putting the moves in. They're still in the top 5, I think, but they're just like, they were sending pictures back of what they were doing. They were playing board games and they were playing different games, but I mean, there was no Twitch stream associated. It really just matters, like, are you excited about this, and are you willing to ask friends, family to support the military with like $1 an hour, kind of a, if it's a 24-hour event, like, hey, just, can we get $1 an hour or 50 cents an hour or whatever to play video games for 24 hours? And that's your pitch right there. It's like we're doing something fun for the troops, and and you don't need to have a streaming studio or Blackmagic capture card or any of that craziness. You just have to have, because we have teams, and I'm not going to say names, but I already know some of these big teams that are not going to do any kind of planning, any kind of prep. And they're going to show up that day and just expect everything to just fall into place. And it's like, all right, well, you didn't do social media. You didn't ask anybody for any donate. You didn't tell anybody they were doing this. Oh, all your followers are working that day, or everybody's busy, or sister's weddings. And they're going to be wholeheartedly disappointed with how much they raised. And they're going to look kind of silly when the 6-man team from Ohio kicks their teeth in.
Right.
So it's just a matter of getting out there and getting after it. And the more excited you are, and the more social media you get behind it, the more people you get on board. It's not going to be you. You're not going to be cutting a check for this stuff. It's going to be your friends and family, and you get a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, and that's what we've been telling our studios. Like, when Capcom comes along and they're like, "Well, are you asking for a check?" It's like, or perfect example, like DayZ creator Dean Hall.
Dean Hall. Yeah,
he's a New Zealander infantryman who switched over when Signal.
Yes,
but he
for a while.
Yeah, he loves us. He really likes what we do. And at PAX East, at the end of the event, he's like, "Well, do you want me to just cut you a check?" And it's like, "Whoa, that's nice. Exciting. That's exciting."
Yeah, but
I literally turned it around. I was like, "Well, it would be even better than that.
Right.
If you reached out to your population, your mad, crazy fan base of people who like shooting each other, and you let them know about this, and you say, hey, if you gave us $1, if each one of you gave us $1, and then if he would write a check, a matching donation check, like, that would be way more exciting, getting that many people behind it. Because again, we're in a building year. We need bodies to help with volunteering. We need artists and coders and just people who like helping out, coming to events and conventions, and evangelists, like, just trying to get the word out there. So I mean, it's almost more important than the money, and I know it sounds funny to say during a fundraising event.
Understandable.
But almost more important is getting the word out and making sure it resonates with people, because everybody we pitch this to, it's a great idea. Everybody loves it. It's like, oh, this is great. This doesn't exist. This is something unique. And so it's just a matter of getting it put in front of the right people. So that's what we're after.
Well, definitely make sure this gets put in front of a bunch of the right people here. Where are you at online there, sir? Where can people find you for as far as getting involved with the OSD, either gaming or as a volunteer or any other such way?
Yeah. I'm at Shanghai 6. That's all spelled out. There's Shanghai SIX. Operation Supply Drop is OP Supply Drop. Our gaming enthusiast website is Front Towards Gamer. The Twitter is Front Towards GMR. The hashtag is 8-bit salute. That is what everybody's using right now, and we have 8-bit salute as the @ as well, but we locked that down. We're focusing people back to the Op Supply Drop Facebook or the Twitter handle. Yeah. We just passed 4,000 likes on Facebook, so that's awesome. Keep those coming in. I'm trying to think what else. So we got a Facebook group or Facebook page. What else?
You're also
website.
You're also on Google Plus.
I am, but I don't use it that often. It's one of those things where it's kind of been forced on me. But yeah, I'm getting better with it. But yes, we are on Google Plus. The website is operationsupply.org, and that'll get you to what you'll see. You can't miss it. The first thing is the big 8-bit salute banner, and then register there. And
right.
But that's where you go, and that is it.
Okay. Let's see. A couple days ago, you tweeted something about a secret project. Can you give us any G2 on that?
You know what? Why not? We are doing a Humble Bundle style competitor store.
Scoop! I got it. Yes.
Yeah. No. I mean, we've been slowly it's being worked on right now.
Okay. Humble Bundle. We're familiar with it.
Well, we're building our own. We're building our own bundle store and a bundle
nice.
And a storefront where it's called Indie Ammo Box, and the idea is it's very similar to it's a Humble Bundle style store, and and I felt bad about I hate to put another one out there, but then I looked around and there's dozens of them at this point.
Yes, yeah, there are.
Obviously, and of course, just like the charity thing, there's nothing helping the troops. So,
exactly.
Ding, ding, ding. It was literally one of those things where in December of this year, we were getting hundreds and hundreds of codes from developers and to go to the troops, and it was getting to the point where I just couldn't keep track of all of it. So I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, if we had some kind of way to re-divvy these or redistribute these, and we could get, we give the developer a cut of the profits, and hey, let's make this happen. So we started building it, and it's about done. It was supposed to be done for PAX East, but you know how developer schedules shift, and
right.
So we're looking to have it up before the event, obviously as a DDoS kind of backup in case we get attacked.
Okay.
Which is very likely to happen because if assholes are going to shut down Extra Life for 6 hours, then
yes,
you better believe they're going to come after the U.S. military. So we're putting together a DDoS strategy. And I know it sounds silly, but at the same, my two ICs, you really shouldn't really it's important to have something in place, but don't worry about it that much. And I'm like, I think we're at the level where we might get some visibility. We might be a good target. Hey, we can just take a stab at this. So,
hey, when you're ready to roll that out, sir, let me know.
Yeah, and
push it out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got some really really good. I'm so excited. We got Team Meat involved. We got Young Horses, the Octodad team.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that was the thing is a lot of these bundle stores are just shoveling shitware, and they're still able to put out some pretty big numbers. So if we're able to compete with we're able to get quality product and be putting that out, we'll actually be a competitor. So that'll be nice.
Yes.
So yes, my time has been very limited for as far as gaming between all of our projects right now. It's been pretty intense.
Well, that was a question I was going to ask you, but I had already deduced that. I was going to ask you what games you're playing currently.
I still force myself. I know Child of Light came out today, and based on what everybody's saying, is I really need to get out and get that. But that's also a 30-hour commitment I don't have right now. So it's I'm just going to have to wait until after the 18th.
Right.
But then Watch Dogs comes out, and that'll be sucking my time up. So I usually get an hour or two of League in. I force myself at 1 in the morning to stop work and all right, I am going to play a goddamn video game today.
Yes.
It's so funny. I was
got to do it.
Yeah, because it's I'm gonna get in the games industry. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna get to play all these games, and it's No, because as the boss man and as like the single point of failure on a lot of these operations that we're doing, like if I'm not like I feel every minute that I'm screwing off. Like every like if I had sent out that email, maybe we could have gotten this person, or maybe we could have gotten that team, or if I don't respond to this guy in a timely fashion, I mean, it's just nuts.
So what you're saying is you're using gaming to relieve your stress.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see how that fits there.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I understand that. Excellent, sir. Well, hey, thanks very much for spending some time here talking with us. We will push this out, and it will get to some eyes and ears, and hopefully I'll help you pass along and get you some support for OSD and the 8-bit salute there.
All right, I appreciate it. I know you guys have a team set up, right?
I do. I'm still kind of struggling with it, working. This is because I'm taking a new angle, trying to figure out how to do this thing with specifically talking to military types. So struggling, but I do have a team.
Your best bet is to get out there and find some military streamers like who are bigger than you are, which is pretty much what we did. We just said, all right, let's identify some folks who already have an absurd fan base. And in your case, obviously, you got the military angle as well. You reach out to them and you go, hey, you're going to stream for 12 hours Saturday anyway. How about you come do this with us, and we can get you some codes, or we can get you some swag to give away, or, whatever you've got available to help out, or something to woo them into the fight, or, things like that.
That's an excellent tip, sir.
Yeah,
excellent.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm nobody, but I know people who do the stream for a living, and it's like, let me lean on those guys, let me let them do the heavy lifting, and then at the end of the day we can all come out ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds good. All right, well, I said it was going to take 30 minutes. I've taken 41.
Nah, you're fine.
All right, so let me go ahead and sign off here. Thanks everyone for listening to this interview here. I'm Jim Moreno, reporting here for ArmchairGeneral.com. Find Shanghai 6 out on the internet. Find and join up with Operation Supply Drop for the 8-bit salute on 17 and 18 May. And let's help support the troops.